Welcome to the deep dive. You sent over a really interesting collection of updates today, all dated April 12th, 2025, and focused on, well, the ever-evolving world of AI.
Yeah, it never stops, does it?
Seems like it. Even on what you might call a regular day, there's clearly a ton happening.
Absolutely.
So our goal here is to pull out the most significant advancements, the stuff that makes you think, aha, and the emerging trends, all without getting too bogged down.
Right, make it make sense.
Exactly. We're going to be looking at everything from how AI sees to how it remembers and even creates. So let's get straight to it.
Sounds good. Looking at these together, you really see some interesting momentum building in a few key areas.
Okay, let's jump right into advancements in vision language models, or VLMs. Looks like some interesting new players and capabilities on the scene.
Indeed. One that caught my eye is Kaleidoscope. This is an open science initiative.
Open science, okay.
Yeah, and what's significant is its push to evaluate how well vision models understand images in a much broader set of languages.
18, actually.
18 languages, wow. Across 13 different subject areas. Think of it like expanding the testing ground for how AI sees things, making sure it's not just seeing the world through, say, an English lens.
That's a great way to put it. It's not just recognizing a cat, but understanding the context, maybe culturally, too.
Precisely.
Then we have InternVL3. What's the story there?
So InternVL3 is another multimodal model building on some pretty solid foundations, InternVT and Qwen2.5VL.
Okay.
What's noteworthy is its reported progress in things like reasoning about what it sees, handling tasks with documents, and even using external tools.
Tools, like other software.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
It suggests we're moving towards AI that can not only see, but also, think and maybe act based on what it sees.
Right, going beyond just identifying objects to understanding relationships, maybe interacting. Now, the name TransMamba sounds like something out of a sci-fi flick. What's the deal?
It does sound futuristic. TransMamba basically represents an attempt to combine the strengths of two important model architectures.
Okay, which one?
You've got transformers, great at context, but sometimes slow with long stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then Mamba, known for speed and efficiency, especially with those longer sequences. So TransMamba tries to get the best of both.
How?
By dynamically switching between the attention mechanisms of transformers and the state space model, or SSM mechanisms of Mamba.
Dynamically, so it decides on the fly.
Exactly, yeah. Imagine like a car that can switch between, say, a high-torque engine for pulling power and an efficient one for cruising. This kind of hybrid thing could be a really big step.
That analogy makes total sense. Smart and fast, depending on the job. Okay. There was also some buzz about an unnamed model. Something about diffusion models.
Right. The excitement there is about this model's potential new approach. See, diffusion models usually work with adding and removing Gaussian noise to generate images.
The standard way.
Well, this new one is apparently exploring moving beyond those standard noise patterns. The key takeaway, I think, is this suggests a potential leap in realism for AI images.
How so?
It's like artists finding a whole new set of brushes or a new technique for blending, changing the fundamentals.
Interesting. So changing how they mess up and unmess up the image might lead to, well, more lifelike results.
Potentially, yeah.
And speaking of lifelike results, Alibaba's FantasyTalking sounds pretty wild.
It is quite something. FantasyTalking is reported to be capable of generating incredibly realistic talking portraits.
Talking portraits? Like video?
Yeah, think about the implications for digital avatars that look and move like real people, or more immersive virtual meetings. Even entertainment really blurs the lines.
Absolutely. Video games, virtual worlds.
Yeah. Now, shifting gears a bit, but still on VLMs,
Yeah.
there was an interesting chat in the Unsloth AI Discord about using them for invoices.
Exactly. Which seems mundane, but it highlights how versatile these models are getting.
Right.
The discussion was about using VLMs to pull specific info from invoices. You know, the ones with totally inconsistent layouts where normal OCR struggles.
Oh, yeah, those are a nightmare. So the recommendation was to try Qwen2.5VL first, then maybe IAVision, LlamaVision, or even Gemma3. The bigger versions have vision now.
So they're seeing which VLM works best for that specific, tricky task.
Right. It shows the power of AI that can visually understand the document structure, not just read text. They also mentioned the core data set for training data structure.
So it's about the AI understanding the layout, not just the words. Could save a lot of manual work. Okay, next up. BrowseComp from OpenAI. Sounds like a benchmark.
That's exactly it. BrowseComp is a new and deliberately challenging benchmark.
Challenging how?
It's designed to really test how well AI agents can navigate the internet to find information that's, hard to find, not just a simple search.
Ah, so complex research tasks.
Right, pushing their research skills in messy online environments. It's about formulating queries, clicking through sites, piecing things together like a human researcher might have to.
Makes sense, especially if we want AI as a proper research assistant. Now, let's talk about something a lot of folks have been waiting for. ChatGPT's memory. Sounds like it's rolling out more widely.
Yes, the announcement is that ChatGPT now has memory for Plus and Pro users.
Yeah.
Big caveat, though, not in the EU currently.
Okay. And what does this memory do?
It lets ChatGPT remember stuff from your past chats. So responses should get more personalized, more contextually relevant over time. Reportedly goes back to chats after January 2025.
That could really change the interaction. No more repeating yourself every time.
Exactly. But, it does raise questions. Privacy, how it's managed.
For sure. What are they saying about control?
They're emphasizing user control.
Yeah.
You can apparently manage the memory, opt out entirely, or use temporary chats that don't get saved.
Okay, that's important.
Definitely. Giving users agency seems key here.
And what's the reaction been like? Sounds like people have thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Some strong opinions. There's definitely enthusiasm. People excited about it, remembering complex code stuff across sessions, like infinite context for developers almost.
I can see the appeal there.
Yeah, the idea of it understanding a whole code base over time may be better than standardized for that. That's a big draw. There was even that anecdote, kind of creepy but cool, about it predicting someone's top movies based on chats.
Right, that blend of useful and maybe a little unsettling.
Exactly. But there's caution too, right?
I imagine so.
Yeah. Valid concerns like, could the memory hold on to old mistakes or hallucinations and then sort of contaminate future answers?
That's a good point. Bad data in, bad data out, potentially forever.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And worries about outdated knowledge sticking around. Plus, is it really infinite context? How controllable is it compared to something like RDAG, which is maybe easier to benchmark?
So definitely pros and cons, convenience versus potential pitfalls. Okay, let's switch back to visuals. ChatGPT's image generation. Sounds like it's getting surprisingly good at a very specific style.
That's right. There's this demo showing ChatGPT making really realistic images when you prompt it specifically for, get this, unremarkable amateur iPhone photos.
Unremarkable, not the usual fantasy stuff.
Exactly. Aiming for that everyday, kind of boring, unedited look. And apparently, the realism is so high.
How high?
Well, reportedly, Claude, another big AI model, couldn't even tell they were AI generated.
Wow, that's impressive. If Claude can't tell.
Right. Speaks volumes. But it sounds like it's not guaranteed.
Meaning?
Others trying to replicate it had mixed results. Seems like the prompt engineering, how you ask for that unremarkable look, is absolutely key.
Ah, the magic words.
Pretty much. And someone joked about falling for a romance scam because of a generated selfie, which, highlights the whole issue.
Definitely underscores the need for media literacy now more than ever. Okay, let's dive into the rumor mill, GPT 4.5 alpha. Lots of talk, but maybe not all positive first impressions.
You're right. There was definitely buzz, even a watch party thing, around this rumored GPT 4.5 alpha. People expected, a big leap. Significant alpha was the phrase.
But the early takes?
Well, according to some very informal comparisons, like on the El Marina Discord, GPT 4.5 alpha wasn't consistently blowing people away. Some found it less impressive than Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Ouch.
Yeah, one user apparently just called it crap in comparison. Sets a high bar, doesn't it?
For sure. So maybe alpha really means alpha still needs work. Was there speculation about what it even is?
Oh, tons. Talk about OpenAI's internal names. Could it be related to those leaked models like O3 Medium or maybe O4 Mini with an updated base? Standard criminology for AI watchers.
Trying to read the tea leaves. But was there also a hint about a potential shift in focus for GPT 4.5?
That's an interesting angle. Yeah, discussion at that latent space watch party suggested maybe GPT 4.5 is leaning more towards data efficiency, not just brute compute power.
Data efficiency.
Using the training data smarter. Getting more bang for your buck, basically. It suggests a more mature approach, maybe. Recognizing that how you use data matters as much as how much data or compute you throw at it.
That makes a lot of sense. Smarter, not just bigger. Okay, let's move to a different model getting some attention. Mercury Coder, what's special about it?
Mercury Coder from Inception Labs.
Okay.
It's interesting because its architecture is different. It's a diffusion-based deep learning language model, a DLLM.
Diffusion for language, like the image models.
Kind of, yeah. Different from the usual autoregressive models like GPT. It's reportedly fast, free API access currently, though a smaller context window, 16K.
How does diffusion work for code?
Well, the diffusion approach allows for more precise control over the output. Instead of just predicting the next word or token, it sort of refines an initial noisy version into the final code.
Hmm. Like sharpening a blurry image into code.
That's a decent analogy.
Yeah.
That precision could be really good for coding assistants where you need accuracy.
Hmm.
It's just a different way to think about generating language, or code in this case.
Interesting. A potential disruptor for certain tasks. Now let's talk Unsloth. That name keeps popping up in open source AI circles.
They're definitely making waves. Got a public nod from Hugging Face, which is big.
Right.
And there was talk in the community about them potentially getting a Hugging Face GPU grant to help development, which is that collaborative spirit.
And lots of technical work happening, too.
Oh, yeah. Within their Discord, discussions about optimizing performance, using things like fast inference. True. Load in 4-bit true. Try to make things run faster and lighter.
4-bit loading, yeah, that helps accessibility.
Definitely. And exploring GGUF quantization, too.
Yeah.
That's about shrinking model sizes way down so more people can run them.
Making powerful AI more democratic, in a way. Any hurdles mentioned?
There were some reports of issues using and fine-tuning Gemma models with VLM and Unsloth initially, but it was clarified that Gemma3 is supported, so maybe just set up kinks.
Okay. And someone's working on getting Unsloth on Apple Silicon? Metal kernels?
That's right. Someone's writing metal kernels, aiming for a PyTorch extension, not MLX. That kind of community effort is huge for broadening where these tools can run.
Very cool. And finally for Unsloth, a slightly retro question about GRUs. Gated recurrent units making a comeback.
Yeah, a blast from the past. The question was whether GRUs might be useful again. Some research links were shared suggesting they could act as sort of extra storage during generation.
Extra storage, huh?
Yeah, and even talk of maybe making a GGUF version of a GRU-based model. Just shows how old ideas can find new life, you know? Nothing's ever totally off the table.
It's a constantly evolving field. Okay, last topic. Semantic tool calling. Sounds important for AI agents.
It really is. Semantic tool calling is emerging as a key technique for managing AI agents that have access to, like, tons of tools.
How does it work?
The basic idea is using vector models to understand the semantics of a user request and the descriptions of the available tools. Then, it intelligently selects only the relevant subset of tools for that specific task. So the agent doesn't get confused or slowed down by having too many options.
So instead of the agent having a giant toolbox and fumbling around,
Exactly.
it uses understanding to pick the right tool, or maybe just a few likely tools.
Precisely. It moves beyond simple function calling towards more intelligent orchestration, promises much better efficiency and scalability for complex agent workflows.
This sounds like a really significant step towards making these agents genuinely useful for complicated tasks.
Definitely. Allows for more complexity without the agent getting overwhelmed. Should mean faster, more accurate results.
Okay, wow. Let's take a breath and recap. Today's dive into the AI Daily News Digest from April 12th, 2025. It really gave us a fascinating snapshot.
It did. A lot going on.
Yeah, we saw exciting progress in how AI sees and interacts VLMs like Kaleidoscope, InternViT, that hybrid TransMamba idea.
Yeah.
Then BrowseComp, focusing on AI research skills.
Right, the memory in ChatGPT,
Yeah.
the super realistic, unremarkable images.
That was wild. And the debates around the implications of both memory and realism, plus the whole GPT 4.5 alpha saga, even if the initial reaction was mixed.
And specialized models like Mercury Coder, the community stuff with Unsloth, showing that diverse development.
Exactly. And finally, semantic tool calling, pointing towards smarter, more efficient agents. So here's the thing for everyone listening. Think about how these pieces might connect to what you do, or just how you interact with tech. What stands out? What questions pop up for the future?
Yeah, what seems most significant to you?
This dive is just a glimpse, right? But hopefully it sparks some curiosity. What it all means, I guess, is that even on a quiet day, the AI journey is far from over. There's this constant innovation bubbling just beneath the surface, shaping what's next.
Indeed. And maybe the most provocative thought from all this is just the sheer sophistication we're seeing now, across the board. Perception, memory, reasoning. It's not just about getting slightly better. It feels like fundamentally new capabilities are emerging for how machines handle information and interact with us.